afternoon, my P3 students. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Today's Friday, the 10th of April 2020, and yay! It's the end of fourth week. Yay! I'm so happy about that. Okay, now, yesterday I explained to you your first. David, don't move. You're gonna. Do not move. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so yesterday I explained about your task. So again, in term 3, there are 2 assessments. And our first assessment, it has 2 parts. Yesterday I explained about the part 1 of your assessment, 1 of 2. So the part 1 was that you are going to draw and label food items that are sweet, and draw and label food items that are salty. So again, you have to draw, if I am not mistaken, 4 items, right? Okay, so you are going to label that, and as my example was that like this, in a piece of paper or a band paper, you're going to write your name, your level, the date, and then you will write part 1 of task assessment 1 of 2. Letter A, food that are salty. So you're going to draw 4 items of food that are salty. For example, salt. So you're going to draw salt here and then put the name. Meaning label, meaning you write the name of that object or of that item. So again, 4 food that are salty, and then letter B, food that are sweet. My example was a lollipop. So you're going to draw a lollipop and you will put the name. What's the name of this object or item or picture? That's a lollipop. So that is for part 1. So if you draw 4 items or food that are salty, 4 points. If you draw 4 items that are salty, sweet and salty, so 4 points, 4 items, 4 points for salty food. Okay, 4 items also. Now, yesterday I promised that I'm going to make part 2 of your assessment. So the part 2 will be, you're going to make a video and then you are going to verbally explain about 4 tasks that you need your sense of sight, 4 sense of hearing, and then sense of touch. So what do we do with those senses? But here the instruction is 4 tasks. Not just say, I see a bird, I see a cat, I see blah blah blah. No, not like that. You are going to name 4 tasks. When we say task, so what is meant by task? My task for you is you are going to make this one, meaning assignment, or another word for task is it's a piece of work. So an assignment that you have to finish or you have to do. Another word for task is a duty, right? Or a job or chores. So what are 4 chores, duty, job, or tasks that you are going to do that we use our sight for? So for example, what are activities that we use our eyes or the sense of sight for? For example, if I am going to wipe the dishes, I use, like for example, task, again task, piece of work, a job, or a chores. So for example, for task of sense of sight, so I'll say, what task that I use my sight for? What job that I need my sense of sight for? For example, this is a ball and this is a sponge. So when I'm doing dishes, when I'm cleaning the plates, so this is an example of task that we use our sight for, okay? So don't just say, I see a bird, I see a cat, I see an apple. No, a task or a job, a chore. Okay, so again, example for sense of sight. So for example, when I'm cleaning the dishes, I use my sense of sight to make sure that the plate is clean, that I did not miss any dirty spots, like that. Okay, you understand now? Okay, so again, task, an obligation, or not really an obligation, a duty that you do at home. Next, how about an example of task that we use our sense of hearing? My mom wants me to go to where? Since you cannot go outside. Sense of hearing. My mom asked me to turn off the TV, for example. So that's a task that your mom assigned to you. So what are you going to say for that? So you will say, I will use my sense of hearing when my mom asked me to turn off the TV. She instructed me to turn off the TV. I need to follow what she have told me. So that's a task. Following what? Commands, what your mom asks you to do. How about number 3? Task you need to do, a task that you need your sense of touch. So again, same with this example. With that example, you use your touch and your sense of sight. So with the sense of sight, you make sure that it's clean, right? Make sure that there's no more dirty spot on the plate or in the bowl. Now, how about sense of touch? For example, there is a power outage in my house and it happened at night. So you will say, I use my sense of touch to feel, because it's there's a power outage, meaning brownout or no power and it's dark. I use my sense of touch to make sure that I am safe or I'm not hurting anybody or pushing anything that will break, like that. So again, think of task, chores. So there are many chores in the house: cleaning, sweeping, doing laundry, watching TV, listening to the radio. So those kind of things. So those are tasks or obligations or activities that we do with those senses. Again, we are going to write down 4 tasks that we use our sense of sight for. Watching TV, I use my sense of sight. That's another example. Sense of hearing. When I listen to the music, I use my sense of hearing. And then what else? Sense of touch is when I'm doing laundry, I'm using my hands. Right? Okay. So if you still have confusion and if you do your assignment in advance and you think it's wrong, you can always redo it, okay? Alright. So again, if you don't know about tasks, you can look online and see what are tasks, examples of tasks for chores in the house, cleaning, doing laundry, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, and stuff like that. Okay? Goodbye and thank you.